When we found this beautiful log cabin in the Dutch countryside, we thought we'd found our perfect home. It looked idyllic, surrounded by woodland and nature, and we were really excited to move in. But over time, we began to discover one problem after another. Some were simply frustrating, and while others became unhealthy or even dangerous. Renting in the Netherlands can be incredibly competitive. It's often difficult to even get an estate agent to return your call, and viewing a property before renting isn't always possible. So we accepted this house in good faith. And in this video, I'll show you exactly why we decided to leave our Dutch rental earlier than planned. Living in a cabin like this seems pretty idyllic, but then, there are problems, like this one. This is how I discovered that A, I wasn't going to be baking, and B, this container that I bought specifically to keep the ants away from the sugar is not fit for purpose. So no baking, and the ants have got a new fantastic source of sugar. So let's leave that there for them. Yes, they got into the Turkish delight as well, so sucks to be us. No Turkish delight. Hot water is also questionable. There are two separate water heaters. This one's for the kitchen and there's another one for the bathrooms. Now this one looks alright at first glance, doesn't it? But as we get a bit closer and we look in here, you can see there's a lot of scale and damage. So it's like that on the inside. On the outside, it's also like that on the inside, which makes, heating up the water take longer and cost more. But the biggest issue is it leaked right on top of the fridge freezer, which used to live here. It's now just a little fridge and my emergency supply of English food that I can't get here easily. I mean, at least it wasn't our fridge freezer, but still, we did lose a bit of food and everything, so not ideal. The first issue we ran into was the stove. This main ring just, randomly stops working. So, I can't use it anymore because you'll be cooking away and suddenly it's just cutting out. But you don't realise because it doesn't send up a warning alarm or anything. So, the other ones are all boiling away and yeah, it really wrecks the meal. Anyway, so that's super frustrating. I mean, yeah, I get it's not a big, massive deal because I do have the other three. But, when you've got a big frying pan, you want the big ring. But here we go. There we are. Fortunately, I'll be getting a whole new one in the new place in Sweden. So this will no longer be a pain in the bum for me. The roof leaks. Not consistently. And the leaks move, so you don't know where it's going to be raining next. It's raining currently onto this plastic bag that's protecting all my paperwork. And that's where it's coming in this time. And you can see the staining on the beam. And then it also leaked on, and this is it ran along this beam and then dropped onto my laptop, so that was fun. This leak's going to get worse throughout the day because it rained all day yesterday and last night. It stopped raining now, but because we've got the green roof, it's a big delay on when it actually makes it through the house. Now this is where the really serious problems begin. And you can see we've got three things in very close proximity here. We've got the drain here, which smells come up from. And then we have the heating system here. And we have the toilet and the waste. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on under here, but this was all done DIY in the 60s or 70s or whenever this house was built. And we have had really strong sewer smells, and we sealed around the base of the toilet with silicone, and that made a massive difference, and we got much less problems after that. But it still happens, but now it comes up through the heating vent, which means it comes throughout the house, and so it's unpredictable, so it's not all the time. Sometimes we'll get the smells, sometimes they're really strong, and there's definitely going to be methane exposure to us. We both got really sick, headaches, bleeding from areas where there shouldn't be bleeding, and all sorts of things. And that got much better after we sealed the toilet. But, you know, we're still getting the smells, and this is several months later. That's why we're leaving, because we can't fix this. And the owners are selling anyway, so that's you know, we'd have to leave regardless. But when you combine this with the minor irritations like the constant mosquito invasions, ants, I'll show you where the ants are living, because that I just discovered a couple of days ago while packing. And well, I can show you part of it here. This wall here is the wall between the bedroom where I sleep and this bathroom. And because of all this sort of waterproof wall that's been put in to protect the logs, you can't see anything that's going on there. And it turns out there's a giant ant's nest underneath this toilet area in the adjoining wall, and then they're pushing sand up into the bedroom underneath our dresser, which I discovered when I took the drawers out to start packing. So yeah, lots of insect invasions, but methane is a much bigger health risk. So yeah, that's this area, and I'm gonna pause the video and go and show you the other massive problem area. Okay, so this is the DIY electrical setup that caused us some pretty significant issues. It was late one night, I was watching TV, and what is that weird smell? And I saw smoke coming up from here, so I ran over, yanked this plug out, and it was plugged into this socket here, and you can see how melted it is. Completely destroyed, and you can see it's right next to the wood. This was all hot. It was so close to bursting into flames, I don't even like to think about it. But then when you add in that you have these curtains that also sit right here, I'll be honest, I hadn't even noticed these two sockets, because what was plugged in here was this burnt out socket and this other plug. I don't even know where that one goes. But it turns out that this one, the melted one, actually supplies these three sockets, which we're no longer using. We have this temporary setup so we can have some lights in the extra space there. But that has no heating and was originally outside, so we keep the curtains drawn the whole time because it's a nightmare for sucking out all the heat in the building. But, you know, when you combine a massive fire risk like this and the methane, you know, it's a dangerously explosive situation. And, you know, we can't continue, so we're we're leaving regardless. And hopefully the new owners can sort out all the problems.